These brave adventurers are not the only ones inside this forgotten city. Somewhere, far above them, a man walked with conviction and purpose. His cloak swept over one shoulder, his badge of office on a gold chain clinking as he walked. Lord Robin Hood of Kars, the rightful ruler of the city and military governor of the region. His jaw was firmly clenched as he walked, his red eyes penetrating deep into the darkness. He could see light reflecting off the floor of the corridor in the distance. His pace quickened, and he took a quick glance over his shoulder to look for signs of pursuit. None were evident. His anger simmered, but with good purpose. This outrage demanded a response. The Duchess must be informed. This entire region needed to be flooded with agents and assassins intent on recovering that stone. Martial law in Kars and trade inhabited, so the dwarves got involved too on the river. His quick and agile mind had already planned the next few hundred moves in advance, but he was blinded by his outrage and anger at being abducted and brought here by these low-level thieves. How dare they try to steal from the greatest thief in history? But wait, then he saw her. Long blonde hair tied back into a ponytail with beads and trinkets entwined into its mass. Her good eye focused on him, and she calmly steepled her fingers with that raised eyebrow of inquisition. She didn't need to say anything. The eyebrow was more than enough. All it said was, "Why didn't you steal the stone from them then? If you're most famous thief in history, why did you not steal it back?" His footsteps stopped a few feet away from the daylight, and his mind began to clear of its outrage. The eyebrow had convinced him. Pivoting on one heel, he walked back the way he had come. The footsteps slowly faded into silence as his entire lower half transmuted into smoke, and he began to retrace his path, clinging to the wall and seeping into the shadows, vanishing into the night. His thoughts were clear, and duty to the eyebrow were clear. Such a pretty eyebrow, too. One he adored way too much. She manifested so much he used to care about in himself, but those days were long gone. As his nostrils twitched at their scent proximity, he fully dematerialized into elusive and thin smoke.
You simply inherited the darkness. I was born to it, molded by it.
He clenched fists of dark smoke and pulled himself down, flowing around forgotten air ducts and collapsed stairwells. The smoke that was Lord Robin Hood of Kars, the best thief in history, clung to the ever-present eternal shadows of this forgotten, ancient, decaying city. Slinking from one shadow to another, he is barely detectable. Loki, make a perception roll. Entering the room with you through a small rupture in a vent on the wall, he makes his own shadow for him to lurk in. It is trained not to growl at the sight of prey. It knows that food will come from its master once his work is complete. The thin, bony, ethereal smoke hand of Lord Robin Hood, the best thief in all of history, reached towards Loki Silverstring, the second best thief in history. As he pulls away, clutching the smart stone, the prize that his Duchess wanted over all other prizes, a hand snatched out to grasp the stone, the small gnome grasping the block with white knuckles, hanging on with grim resilience. "No!" shouted Mr. Hood. "No!" shouted Loki. But it was too late. The combination of hands on buttons pressed activated the smart stone, expending all remaining charges inside this room. Instantaneously, 7 portals spring into existence at all angles relative to the two jostling for possession of this device. Like two teenagers grappling for the TV remote, the greatest thief in history faces off against the second best thief in history. Let the battle of the thieves commence. Roll initiative, Loki.
Does she all sense evil?
Yale's asleep.
Oh.
So, he doesn't sense anything at the moment.
Let's see, that's...